I've achieved something that I've been working towards for a very long time. And this is another unscripted video because I just want to flow with it in that despite the difficulties that have kind of unfolded, especially most recently for me, I feel like my sense of grounding, my inner union, the divine mother and the divine father within me are unifying together, and my diamond pillar is so stable and solid because of my work fully stepping down into the physical. This has been years in the making. It just stepped down a couple days ago. And I can't, it's hard for me to begin to express the freedom it gives to be able to feel the intensity of human emotions, but not fall apart. To feel like you are being held up by your own body, like your body is made out of diamond, and that you can feel however it is you're feeling, whatever lower vibrational emotions, blah, 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 without losing yourself and without totally getting lost in it. I used to wallow. I used to really let my empathic abilities run wild as well, because especially when it comes to things like breakups, whether it's a romantic partner or a friend, mostly romantic partners for me, I have felt what they feel. And I would run away with that and sort of kind of be like, oh my gosh. And to be able to not only take a step back, but to see everything for what it is, to see that anything and everything that could possibly happen to you or possibly unfold is a narrative, that you are not this body. And if you are not this body and if you are God, you cannot be hurt. There is no lack, there's no loss. And yet, because we're in these physical forms, we do feel reactions and we do feel emotions towards what we experience, because we are here to experience the illusion of fear, the illusion of sadness and lack and loss. But to achieve such stability to the point where I've been able to notice in myself now that the emotions don't run deep. They don't plunge themselves into my core in the sense of I fall apart in them. I feel, but it's not deep. I feel, but it's not shattering me on the inside. I hope that makes sense, because the amount of peace that I feel is something that my inner child has been wanting and needing for a very long time. And I used to think that I knew what freedom was. I used to think that freedom looked a certain way physically. But the truth is that freedom comes from within. Freedom is that sense of soul remembrance and sovereignty, that no matter what might happen to you on the outside, no matter what might be going on the outside, you are still you, and you will have the experience that you're meant to, and you will have good experiences no matter what. That God never fails. A co-creation is when you can show up in the present moment while acknowledging that you do have dreams and goals, but that you are on the track. It's like those moving walkways at an airport where you stand there and it moves you. You could walk on it to move a little bit faster if you want, but ultimately, it's going to get you there. I can't emphasize enough that I used to, right before my spiritual journey, I wallowed in the past. And then as I was kind of getting into my spiritual journey, I would look towards the future and I would live for the future. And it's interesting because looking back even further, my very early childhood, I lived for the future because I was not in an environment that allowed me to learn how to regulate myself. And so not experiencing that physical or mental or emotional safety growing up, I had to deprogram and relearn a lot of different things. And so it's so interesting to see that living for the future was present at the very beginning of my life, and then it was also present when I started my spiritual journey, like all those years later, like 15 years later. 20 actually, like 15 to 20 years. And so it's not about the past or the future. It's about the now. It's being so free. Like, and I might get emotional talking about this. It's about feeling so free that you can live in the now and know that everything that you want is on its way to you. Like, you are actually on the track. And it's hard to describe, kind of, because I've seen people talk about it. I've seen people say these exact words that I'm saying to you right now in this video, but for some reason, that paired with my own inner work, paired with my own initiations that I signed up for in this life to have these experiences that taught me things, it's clicking now. I actually get it. I am on this track, and there's no way that I won't experience what I want to, because I'm a conscious creator. I'm co-creating with the universe. I am 50%, and then God is the other 50%. I grew up having to overextend myself constantly and having to be so observant about any and all little details that could potentially mean things that were unsafe, and I had to avoid them, and like, just terrible, crazy, intense. And so for me to come out on the other side of that and recognize that, oh my goodness, the freedom that I've been seeking for so long, I thought it was another home. I thought it was a relationship. I thought that it was something physical, tangible, outside of myself. And it was not. Now I can have any experience and know that I will not be destroyed. Let me say that again. I now know that I can have any experience on the outside of me and not be destroyed. Like, what? I used to be a chronic overthinker, very, very prone to falling into cognitive distortions of most kinds, especially black or white thinking. And the fact that this shift is so physical now in me, it is just wow. And one day I think I want to make a course. One day I'm definitely going to write a book, and one day I'm going to talk more about how I did that. But with this being so new, that's one thing. But also, I mean, we're all, just because it played out this way for me doesn't mean that it's going to play out this way for you. And that's the beauty of it. You know, it's like, I can share my experience all day long, and that's very valuable, and that feels good for me too. But at the end of the day, it's like, we are all living such incredibly unique experiences. And part of the joy is to see what that looks like for you, and to see how it unfolds for you specifically. And maybe parts of our journeys will cross and intertwine and be related to each other, and so then we can relate to each other and help each other, right? But I can just exist, you can just exist, I can just be me, you can just be you. And at the end of the day, we are all one, though, too. So it's like, freedom might not be what you think it is. Freedom might be a paradigm shift. Freedom might be you liberating yourself. For me, it was in the form of perception, and also my worth, and also aligning to capital R reality. There is nothing but this present moment. There's a Bible verse, Matthew 6 through 36. Well, Matthew 6. Crap. It's like, it resonates with me so much. If you know the Bible, you'll know what I'm talking about. Matthew chapter 6, verse 24 through 36. I think that's what it is, where it's basically God says, God, gathering of divine, says, God gave you glory today. God gave you safety today. Anything that's past that is the enemy, essentially. Do not worry about what you will wear, what you will eat, what you will drink, where you will stay. God has provided for you today, so focus on today. Tomorrow, there are too many worries today. There are too many things to be concerned about today. You cannot be concerned about tomorrow. It's like impossible, so don't try, basically. And that has shown up for me, and it's kind of been a theme for me this past month or so. That as much as society wants to tell us that we know what we're doing and that the future can be planned for, you meet halfway with God every time. Whether you are religious or not, or you believe in the universe, or you believe in some higher power, or you believe in a specific deity pantheon, whatever you believe in, even, like I said, even if you are somebody who is atheist, you can't, like, one thing is for certain, no matter what you believe in, you cannot control everything. You do not have, like, from an actual logical scientific perspective, not 100% of things are in your control. And if you tell yourself that they are, that not only facilitates suffering, that's just wrong. That's just false. And so, whatever it is you might believe in, whether it's God being that other 50%, or the physical 3D experience being that other 50%, you bring the 50. You cannot bring the 75 or the 100. Not everything is in your control. You can't control what other people do to you, what other people think about you, what other people say to you. No matter how you act, no matter how you show up in the world, there is still room for them to not like you, or to believe something about you that you feel in your heart is wrong, or, break up with you, or cast you out, or like, you don't have the control that you think you have. You could get a degree and get a job and lose that job. You could build good faith with somebody, network, get your foot in the door somewhere, but not really start. And then they tell you, oh, never mind, you actually don't have the job. Like, I've heard stories of people moving physically to be at a job specifically, and they had already moved. They already signed papers for housing, and these people would come back to them and say, no, never mind. Like, you don't have the job, actually. Nothing is guaranteed. You cannot control that. You can't. You can move. Like that one story I just said, you can move. You can prepare the house. You can prepare yourself. You can prepare for the interview. You can know in your heart that you are qualified. You can prepare the resume, use all the right words, like blah, 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 blah. You can do your part. But where it ends is what you do. What you are able to do for yourself and your presentation, that's where that ends, because you can approach it. You can approach anything. You meet at that halfway point. And if that person does not, or that opportunity does not, it's not on you at that point, because you showed up. You showed up as you with your skills and your abilities in that moment. And it's their choice whether or not to say, oh, you have the job, or, oh, we're aligned, I want to be with you, or, oh, I believe you when you're telling me this thing, or whatever. A huge trap in modern society is that we are taught that we can control all these things when we can't. And so for me, in that process of realizing that and finding peace in that, has moved mountains for me in my life and my perception in the way that I choose my feelings towards things that happen. I feel an incredible amount of, like I said, peace and freedom and liberation even from recognizing this, that all I can do is try my best. And if my best does not yield the results that I intended or wanted, that's not bad, and it's not my fault, really. Because you can only do your best. You can only be you. You can't control whether or not you get the job. You can apply for the job, but you can't control whether or not you get it. You can ask somebody out on the date, but you can't control whether or not they say yes to you. As much as you think that you're attractive and you're ready for a partner and you have a lot to offer, it's not about the outside source. It's about you and how you feel on the inside. And so for me to go out into the world now and recognize that even if I don't know what's next, specifically in any particular category, I know that I'll be just fine, if not amazing, because I know what I bring, I know my worth, and I know that I am taking the steps that are actually in my control to have that good experience. But it's not in a way where it's toxic, overextension, like trying to control the outcome either. Does that make sense? So it's like, I'm at peace with what happens next because I know that it's 50% me and 50% God. Or 50% me and 50%, other energies outside of me. And even with whatever those outside energies do, to know that I am stable and I am safe and I can handle it, trust myself to handle whatever comes my way in the moment, not rehearsing it, not like planning 10 steps ahead. The whole planning 10 steps ahead thing, like I said from that Bible verse, it is the enemy. It's not real. Society tries to tell you that you can plan for all these things, but you can't. You can't control whether or not somebody very important to you passes, or you lose a job, or you get dumped, or you lose your house. Like you can't, like somebody does something and takes something away from you. It's like you can't control that. Something comes to an end when meanwhile you have been showing up consistently. You have been being yourself. You have been yourself. And you have been doing what is actually your responsibility and actually your part in it. And it still turns out that way. That's not on you. It's not. So I have faith. I have courage and trust in what's next, because I have that knowledge and that wisdom to see that what I'm doing is my responsibility, and anything outside of that is out of my control. So yeah, this is a very interesting, kind of reflective, maybe slightly rambly video. I don't know, but if you have any thoughts, feel free to leave a comment down below. I do offer personal sessions if there's something you'd like to get clarity on, or if you want to have 1 hour one-on-one with me where we can talk about literally anything and everything that you want. I also have that available. If you just need some guidance, some help with whatever you might be going through, I'd be more than happy to help you. So links for that will be down below in the description. I'll see you guys in the next one.